Why do they shut it off?
Because I don't come when they call me. Yeah, nope, now we're live. Okay, channel, I gotta do this again. Yeah, I love doing this thing. I don't know why it can't just be public the moment I start streaming. So, I'm just going to get started while I make this public. Hello everyone, this is Darren. We're going to be doing a map walkthrough of Caen. I butcher it. I am sorry, France. I am joined here with Renegade Central, my map walkthrough collaborative buddy here. Yes.
I haven't done one in like 2 years until now.
Yeah, I know.
Hey.
Same here. So yeah, we are going to get started right now as I hit the end button and the save to also enable everyone to see it. And since, yeah, so it's public now, so I don't really, there we go. So starting over on the east side of the map, this map is very asymmetrical, we can kind of see this. And in terms of flexibility and terrain, once you have secured the 6 line, I do feel the 6 line is kind of the deciding factor, as that is the highest point on the map. Once you have pretty much captured the spine of the map along the 5-6 line, that is where the west side has the advantage over the east side if the west side has won. And I'll get to that in a second. So right off the bat, light tanks, oh shoot, my apologies. So Artie pretty much likes to hide over here in the river area. One place that Renegade mentioned is that there is this like little hill ledge right there, and that is it right there. If he gets spotted, he's able to go right down into the river, and he's in such a position that he can actually get ready for a shotgun. But other than that, pretty much the river is where Arties tend to go to for the most part, but it varies by players. Sometimes you'll see Artie literally just not move from spawn. Yeah. Now, to light tanks, moving over to the light tank thing, the light tank job while I drive. Light tanks will essentially just make a run. They'll come up this road and they'll either go right up north or they'll go left down south along the spine. Almost killed myself. That would be fantastic. They'll pretty much make a run along the spine trying to spot anyone that's over there or something like this. This section, this whole spine is a massive brawling spot of where you just play peekaboo with each other. But this area, pretty much the 6 line, A through AC6 area, this is the main brawling area for the northern part of the map. This bowl is nice for pretty much being able to remain hull down and get shots on, I was not expecting that kind of thing through the tracks. Anyone over here, same thing. You can get hull down and get shots on any of the TDs or tanks hiding back over here. You're not going to see any tanks or TDs really sit way in the back, at least on this portion of the map. Most of them will pretty much push up and fight along here. You got to be careful though, trying to get from that bowl to this other important section of the map, just because of the fact that if there are other tanks farther down the spine here, they will be able to shoot you in the rear, and you got to be careful of that. This section here as well, you got to be careful. This is an avenue for an attempted flank by the north team. Be careful of this. If you neglect this, you're going to literally just start getting shot in the side. And it's always important to have a healthy amount of tanks on this section defending that avenue, as well as the bowl section right there at C3 defending that road. Those are the 2 main attack approaches for the west side to try and take the northern half, the northern third of the map.
Yeah. One thing that I need to stress, I can't stress enough, when taking this portion of the map, there is going to be a lot of tanks, things like Chieftain with gun depression that want to push up. Now, you are going to have an opposing vehicle on the other side, so that infused to come up next to me. So we are both trying to push, the fellow tank, but we can't because they've got tank shores in the back. Please be aware, we are close together. Artillery is going to be focusing on this location. Myself, as an artillery player, this is a key location that I want to defend and attack. So be prepared for artillery fire. There is not a lot of artillery cover. You are going to get hit. So it's something that you need to watch out for. There is no artillery cover in this location unless you fall back behind the hill. But even then, you're still going to be focused because this is a key location.
So, and then real quick, once you win this side, it's pretty much, you won this side of the map, you just kind of start getting rid of anything that's back there. Occasionally you'll have a straggler or, that one dude that's hiding right there behind that corner. Or there'll be enemy tanks that you're going to have to, unfortunately, flush out that are hiding right below this ridge. Kind of right where Renegade's at, there might be tanks all along these rocks that are literally kind of just trying to egg you out into the open, this exposed opening for the hidden TDs in the back. So you got to be careful of that. Now, just moving again, sticking with the east side's approaches. We're going to move down the spine here. The spine, I cannot stress enough, is probably the deciding factor in this map. If you take the spine, like 2/3 of the spine, for the most part, you pretty much kind of dictate the flow of the map. Not saying you will win, but you have a better chance of winning because you can dictate, where the enemy team can go and spotting. Don't rush if you're a light tank or a medium tank. Do not rush into this middle section. There is this little section right here for you to be able to come up on and take care of any brave medium or light tank that is over here by the windmill. Like that. Like that. See? Yes. Renegade, the foolish little light tank, decided to poke out because he got spotted. Oh, well, I just put a shot into him. But be careful. I'm sure Renegade can testify that you're not already safe here. You're not unless you go behind these rocks.
The only place you're artillery safe on this map is either undetected or safe. But even then, it doesn't matter where you're going to go. You are going to get hit. This is an open map. There's not a lot of artillery cover unless you're on this spawn where I'm currently sitting. I have a lot of rocks, a lot of elevation. It makes it slightly harder for the reticle to aim.
Yeah. So if you win this, like I said, if you win the spine, this is what I mean by the deciding factor. Any TDs, chances are you'll spot them over there. You have literally a clear as day line of sight to anything along those two main roads or main approaches up north there. Anything hiding there, you are able to get a shot on the rear or assist your teammates in flushing these guys out. So this is a very big, this is what I mean by you can dictate the flow of the map, because you can keep your teammates alive and or win the entire north side from pretty much the A through E line of the spine. You are able, right down the 6 line, you are able to, excuse me, I had hiccups all of a sudden, dictate the, who goes where and how safely you can move around the map from this. And that goes both ways too. Just that the the east side has a slightly more disadvantage just because of the lack of terrain. So moving along this side here, we're going to move into the city, but again, this is just kind of like a big flex zone for medium tanks, light tanks. The spine is nothing really much but a fighting area for tanks.
Oh no, where you are right now, hold up. Where you are right now, I see a lot of Leopard 1s and E50Ms because there's a lot of rocks here. A lot of them like playing this position where I'm currently sitting, especially with where you're sitting coming up there. You have good cover.
I've seen all medium tanks. 140s, myself from time to time. If you got gun depression, you got turret armor,
location.
You got mobility, you can flex all along this.
Yeah, where I was sitting before by the lighthouse, this gives you clear and easy shots into people that plays that position up there.
Yeah. Moving over here, I can't really say anything about TVs back here. I'm going to just say don't go back here unless you're kind of pushing yourself into like a last stand mode along this little peninsula. If you can even get up there.
I see a few here and there.
I've seen a few go there, but they don't do anything. They don't.
The problem with sitting
anything.
back there is any medium tank that takes that aggressive position where we just were, the tank shore is completely negated and useless and redundant.
Yeah. So if you're a heavy tank, super heavy, whatever, and you're dead set on taking the city from the east side, this is pretty much where you want to go. Stay out of sight if you can. Come up to the city via this like bridge here, and yeah, you may or may not take shots. I don't fight the city all that much, but you are pretty much right here at the border. Yeah,
I do sometimes. I used to when this map first came out.
You're kind of safe here until you get like spotted, and then you might have an arty. But I have never really, the farthest I've seen teammates from the east side and heavy tanks really go is over to that building. This building. This corner fancy building that has Le Pistrie, right there on that side. So that's the farthest I've ever seen teammates push up to on this. Not saying it's completely a good idea, but the city is, from what I've seen, the least decisive map. This is just where people go to brawl because they don't want to get, dunked on by artillery.
The only thing that you've got to be wary of is, as Darren said earlier, if you need to take the 5-6 line, if you take 5-6, A, B, C, and D, and you can push onto their flag, then you're fine. That is for the west bomb. The problem is, if you don't push A, B, C, D on the 5-6 line, and you only hold it, if the enemy team, the east spawn that Darren has spawned at, if they take City, they can come straight up from underneath you and clean you and get side shots in. So City can be the deciding flank if you don't push. However, if you push the 5-6 line from the east spawn, then City's more there to hold the enemy tanks and distract them.
Pretty much. The city is like just keep the enemy team there if there are enemies there. And like you said, if there's no one there, if you have no one opposing you, by all means, literally push. By all means, literally push. I have seen maps like teams lose because no one went city, and to at least stop people that may be there, and the enemy team has literally just gone down along the river, and then just literally cleaned up any medium or heavy tank that is along the 5-6 line on the spine. But I mean, again, there's no real incentive to push unless you are overwhelming the enemy that's in the city, unopposed, or you're just cleaning up. Those three things are reasons to go into city and push through city. But if you're being opposed, your best bet is to just kind of play it safe, play arty safe, and just stall for time, or just stall the enemy team and bleed them. But yeah. If you do happen to do any of those three things to where you do win city, again, make sure you clean up. Make sure you don't have anyone hiding back here. I have seen TDs, waffles, hide back here and then just delete the 3 or 4 tanks that are like 1 or 2 shots from death that are trying to flank the enemy team. So do be careful. Just over this ridge right here is one of those hiding spots that I'm talking. I have dodged like 3 shots, not even trying.
I've been shooting over.
So like right here, kind of. If it's one of those more sneaky TDs, I have seen a waffle literally back here behind this church. Even right in here in the corner, I've seen an arty hide back here as a final stand. So always check these corners for something. If you do win, take the wide approach, clear out those corners, and then just kind of you got enough cover here. This is the one advantage of the west side. You got cover here to be able to almost sneak through here without being detected. And then you got the ridge lines. You got plenty of rocks for like if you don't have the gun depression, you literally have at least a rock to go hold down on, and you can fight ridge to ridge. There's plenty of cover here to go hold down or sneak through and clean up around the enemy. And that's pretty much how you play this from the east side of the map. Just main takeaway for both sides, and I'll cover the west side because that's much different a little bit in terms of terrain and locations. Since the east side has no set TV spots for you to actually protect the 5-6 line, this side, the west side, actually does. So yeah, both sides play. This is one of those like asymmetrical maps that looks symmetrical, but it's not really.
Plays completely different depending on flank here.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. In summary, the general idea for both teams is you want to control the 5-6 line from A through G, and that pretty much gives you complete map control. And dictates the flow of the map and where the enemy team can go. And the city, unless the city you want to hold and bleed the enemy team if you are opposed, but if you are unopposed, have won the city, or are cleaning up, by all means push through the city and flank the enemy that is still along the 5-6 line. And that's going to be it for the east side of the map. We're going to quickly switch over to the west side of the map. And since the general idea is the same with the west side and the east side in terms of objectively, I'm just going to cover pretty much locations and why the west side has an advantage somewhat over the east side. Any questions? By all means,
I don't know.
No,
I'm thinking about that. The east side does have that top bowl on the top 5-6 line, and it has more flatter ground. As the west side, it's very steep. So if you're in anything like an IS-4 or an IS-7 or even WZ-111 Chilin, like you're not going to do anything.
You'll see though. You'll see. I'm not talking about like the top north part. Because that is kind of
they definitely have an advantage in middle.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. They have that advantage in the middle. That is where the advantage. The west side has the advantage in terms of being able to be more hull down on the northern part of the map, the northern third of the map. But middle, that is where if they can take the middle section of the spine, they have the advantage. Because if they can take that, the way that the map is, you can see the road. And I'll show it once we get to in the game. You'll see.
There's been a lot of times where I've been
west.
Yeah, I take that road on WZ-11 and the 113 actually, and you can get a lot of nice shots in E4s and stuff that just cross that. It's definitely a nice location there.
Yeah. So waiting for you to select a tank.
Oh, my bad.
It's odd. You'd think I don't know what the hell that was. I heard stomping. But...
I heard. I took my headset off for a second. I thought it might have been me.
Yeah, I know. It's probably my parents telling me that it's time for dinner. But, gotta do this. I gotta do this. It won't take too long. It won't take another whole 15 minutes. So we should be okay. Alrighty, so real quickly, arty spots, I have seen them literally go A1 for whatever reason, don't know why. I mean, if you get spotted, you're dead. You gotta cross literally a field. I have seen arty pretty much hide along the one line though, so most of the time I'll see arty hiding right here. Right here I'll see arty.
1B is a good location.
Yeah.
1C is a good spot.
Yep.
Hiding, perch in the back of your tank up for a better travel distance. 1D is a good place. Also, as we covered in last, 1H and 1J. are good spots too if you wish to take your artillery down there. But that's always dependent on where your team goes. If your team's dominantly on the A, B, C line, then there's no point taking your artillery piece down the J line.
Yep. Alrighty. So, moving real quickly here to the TD spots. This is what I'm trying to talk about in terms of TDs, because you don't really have the same advantage on the east side. But as you can see from this spot, if you got the camo, you knock some trees down, and you aren't detected or anything like that, you have it nice and wide. You are like almost level with that spine. You are able to get nice shots on anything that pokes out and overexposes their tank. And it makes a very good supporting thing for pretty much helping your team push. Since they can't really go hull down on either of these approaches, you can literally punish anyone that is trying to push and put pressure on them. So that worked. Ooh, jeez, that was really close. So yes. Moving over here, we kind of covered real quick. You don't really have much of an advantage over trying to fight in these two avenues just because of how kind of steep they are. The one exception is, as you can see, you can kind of see it right there. It levels out a bit. But you are fairly exposed. You're still exposed to arty as well. So, if you were able to, and you were low profile enough, and you had enough support literally pushing them, you can kind of use this as a hull down spot. I wouldn't trust it, but you can kind of use it. Another one would be this rock here. Another one would be the rock. I have done this before. Sweep around, well, without hitting that rock. Sweep around.
The rock's really good RT cover too.
Yeah. Well, depending where their RT is. If you're like right here or something, yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. I've been ammo racked and killed here. You are able to get, good thing. You're able to get good cross shots. You're tired like me. Goodness. But yeah, you're able. Both sides are able to kind of support some way, shape, or form here. But the west side, the east side has a bigger advantage. And then over here, really quickly, I will, like I said, TD. No, that one heavy tank that I always see will always camp right there on that corner somehow because he didn't. He took one shot and was like, "Yep, that's enough for me," and then he'll literally go and hide behind that little mountain, that ridge. Now the advantage with, the advantage over here with this, and while I'm getting to it, is that this road, as you can see, this road curves, and this curves like around the east spot, and because of that, this is what gives it the advantage from the middle section of the map to the west side. If you can take the middle section of the west side, you have this entire sloping ridge that allows you to curve around and get flank shots on anything and everything. If there's a TD like a tortoise, I've seen tortoises over here. I've seen, those things trying to, stay cover, have some form of solid cover. They're able to fire, duck onto this road, go hull down, punish that chieftain or that, leopard or whatever it is that's poking out to try and shoot them. And they can even get cross shots over onto the opposing road over there as the slow T-95 still struggles to push up to the up north section. That's the big advantage of this map, which is, if you neglect this section of the map as a east side player, you are inviting the team that I'm on right now, the west side, to envelop from the side and completely control. And the other thing with that is that they have this huge opening right here. You might as well fight to the death right around here, this area, if you lose this section. Because you are not retreating easily. You either expect to die trying to get to cover, or expect to lose most of your hit points. There is no cover. There's absolutely no cover. Just look at this section of the map. There is some cover. Yeah, you might have a big wide opening right here, but it's nowhere near as big as this like 2x3 some odd section of opening right here on the east side. So you got to make sure that you have people trying to control the flow on this side. And again, it's why I stress the 5-6 line from G on up to A is incredibly important to control. City, same presidents right here. This is pretty much about it in terms of this map.
Yeah, you pretty much want to hold city. It's not something that you want to push because in order to win from the west spawn, what you want to do is you want to push the ABC line onto their base. That way you can get hulled down by their base and then shoot south, because again, as Darren pointed out, this is a big open area from the 7, 8, 9 line. City is a place where you want to hold, you want to challenge the enemy tank but not push, because if you push, you're then going to expose yourself into that big open area. That big open area is pretty much a no-go from the west side unless it's cleanup. So you do want to hold city, you do want to hold the position and challenge their tanks, but you don't want to push. If you are looking to push, go back up the spine and fight from the ridge line there. If you do win city, that is.
Yeah, that route is also good. That what you just mentioned, going up the spine, no point. Especially if they still have TDs back over there. If for some reason, the Arty has dealt with the TDs. The TDs have been taken care of by the people on the spine, and it's kind of essentially just everyone that's over here in this northeastern section of the map. By all means, just don't worry about it. Just not hitting the rock, of course. Just push right into the river. Take care of any Arties that may or may not be here, and just use it to, come through around behind the enemy team. You can sneak up right up onto their base if you have some light tanks. I have seen light tank platoons. If the city is neglected by the eastern team, light tank platoons come right through the river. Their camo value on the move allows them to literally go right through here undetected if there's no one here, and they come sneak right behind these rocks, and whoop! Oh, hey, Arty. Boom, Arty dead. Oh, hey, a T-95. Some are still trying to go over here. Oh, dead. Oh, that one heavy tank that is still apparently not loaded into the game. Dead. Okay, now you got like 2/3 of the team that are supposed to be focused on fighting on the spine, having to turn around and deal with a platoon of 3 to 5 pesky little light tanks that have gotten behind them and are now literally kicking their butt. So, either way works. You can choose to go and fight along the spine and just kind of help get some side shots and help your teammates, or just take the long flank and just start farming damage from the rear and taking care of tanks that haven't loaded in yet or distracted or anything else. But really, that's about it. I mean, the objectives for both sides are the same. It's just that there's some advantages over each other that each team has. And I believe we covered both of those very, very well.
Yeah. I personally will still suggest that A to G line is still the most important a lot across the spine. JK, you do want to just hold. And I wouldn't really push down bottom flank. I do feel like it is better to then locate yourself and then support your team from the other flank that is one.
Yeah. Any questions here? Pretty much, feel free to ask a question. I'm going to save from him being outright dead at the moment. I'll let you guys ask the question. But if there are no questions after, I don't know, like 30 seconds here or a minute, I will just, we'll just kill each other.
Love me.
Oh, I don't want to love this. Stop doing this. not your dad. Stop it. Stop hugging. Oh, okay. Don't kill me yet, because there's a question for you address.
Okay.
Oh, apparently I was, So, yeah, I'll give it another 20 seconds or so. But, I would like to thank Renegade while we're waiting here real fast. I would like to thank Renegade for taking the time out of his evening to assist me with some of these. And hopefully I might be able to knock another 2 out on Thursday, maybe. Who knows? If not, it might have a different guest here with us if Renegade is unavailable. But his link to his Twitch and his YouTube will be in the description of this video and the Pilsen walkthrough. Check those out. Seeing as there is no questions, just going to end it here. Renegade, thank you very much for the assistance. And until next time, this has been Darren of WotC Academy in collaboration with Renegade Central. And I'll see you next time.
Take care and keep it renegade. Bye-bye.